like torn off.
You're kidding. Look at that.
Like, okay, all
So,
right.
okay, we have an aggressor, I see.
Well, look.
Something
Hello.
tore the camera right off the tree.
So how did they manage that?
Could that have been a bear, maybe? Like, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today at Tiny Barn Farm. We have a beautiful morning. We had rain last night and now the sun is going to shine. It's just lovely. Today we're going to take a closer look at the garden and maybe get some of our tomatoes pruned and fastened to the stakes and just see what's going on out there, do a little weeding. But yeah, what a morning, just lovely. Birds are happy. Myles and I are taking a bit of a walk this morning. We're going to, I'm going to show you a little spot in the woods that I loved. But before we do that, I'm going to go visit my little kitty. We lost our cat Peanut 2 years ago. She was already 17, so she lived a long life with us. Well, she was with us since she was 2. We adopted her. She had a pretty rough start in her life, but she ended up living a really nice life with us and got to spend some time here on the farm. Was a good little huntress as well, like I mentioned in my former video. So here's our baby girl. She's buried here. Oh, a little bird pooped on her. Well, she'd be pretty happy to have a bird here. That's our little sweetie pie. But yeah, she was a lovely, lovely cat. Beautiful. So we have her here within proximity to the house. And one day when our little bug Myles is no longer with us, he will be buried here beside her. Right, buddy? Yeah, you like to come visit. Birds. Yeah. They kind of tolerated each other. But yeah, they're sometimes they would sleep on the same bed together, which was kind of sweet. But yeah, he was a good big brother to Peanut, or a little brother, I guess. She was older than him. All right, buddy, come on, let's go to the woods. Yeah. Horseflies are bad today. They're kind of sitting all over my camera. If anybody knows what kind of bird that is, let me know. I don't think it's a pileated woodpecker, but it might be. We have a lovely surprise in this area this year, which is new to this area. We've got wild blackberries have just popped up here. We have them on other places on the property, but we've never seen them here. And this is right near the house, and it's quite a large patch full of berries. I think with all the rain we've gotten this year, rain and sun mix, the berries are just crazy. So the animals will be very well fed this season, which is really nice. They become less threatening if they're fed well. And this is one of my favorite spots. We've got this little entrance into the woods here. And it's kind of this little secluded, that's Myles in the background, little secluded getaway. And I thought, since we have this clearing that's kind of a lot of moss on the ground, it's like a moss floor in here, I kind of thought, well, wouldn't this just make a lovely little meditation spot? So my plan, and I will make this into a video, I borrowed a pole saw from a friend. My plan is to cut down all these dead branches so the trunks of these trees are clear up to about 6 feet, so you can walk in here comfortably. It'll be a little bit more like a park. And you could just sit in here. Just either make a little bench, probably a little bench right in the center here, because if you look up, these trees are in a perfect circle. It's like 5 trees all planted in a circle. I just think that's so amazing. And it's just lovely in here. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. It's right near the house, so you can just I can just kind of come over here anytime. Look at that. Look at all the moss. It's like a little moss path. It's just magic. It's amazing. Yeah, we'll get our day started. We're gonna prune some tomatoes because they're starting to go crazy in the garden and they're starting to bear fruit, which is really lovely. So I want them to do well. So I'm gonna give them their best chance possible. But I'll end this little part on this beautiful little flower. They call this devil's paintbrush. And it's one of my favorite flowers. A little bug on there, a little tiny bee or something, but the color is so pretty. So yeah, let's go over to the garden, see what's going on over there. So I was just passing by the woodshed here and realized that, oh my God, look at the grass in here. So I think we're gonna have to bring the weed whacker out here and trim this back a little bit. But I actually wanted to check on the hornet's nest that was here from last year. Now we decided to keep this. This is not active. They don't actually come back to their former nests, thankfully. But we kept it in here to discourage other hornets from nesting in here, and it seems to be working, but we'll see. I know hornet season is a little later in the season, but it doesn't look like there's any other nests forming in here, so it looks like this is working to keep them out of the shed. Not that we're in here much, clearly, because of the grass. It would be nice to not have hornets in here this year. So that seems to be working, which is really, really great. We will be moving this shed next spring and using it as a greenhouse. The roof is polycarbonate, I believe that's what it's called, and it lets the sun in. So we're gonna actually redo the walls. We're gonna take off that ugly white siding and turn it into a greenhouse next year, but we're gonna put it down by the new barn so that I can start growing my peppers in here, because I'm not having a lot of luck with the peppers, and I'll show you that shortly when we go to the garden. Everything else seems to be doing okay, but the peppers are very unhappy. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this project. This will be next spring, and then we'll finally have this whole area cleared with just wildflowers, which will be really lovely. All right, garden time. So here are our peppers. Now, I don't know. I mean, they're a little bit more yellow than I'd like to see, but look at the amount of peppers on here. It's almost like the plants are not very happy, but they have produced lots of fruit. So maybe they're gonna be okay. I don't know if anybody out there grows peppers. I would love to get your feedback on how you think these are doing. I just feel like I've grown peppers in the past and they've been a lot more green and leafy than this. Like this one even has some discoloring on it. We've had, I mean, it might be a deficiency in the soil, which is likely. The soil is not very fertile. We've been kind of adding to it as we go. And I've always had problems in the last couple years growing things in this area of the garden. So, and we had a couple cold nights, which I know peppers don't really like cold nights. So we'll see. Anyway, we're going to get more peppers than we got before, so that's always good. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Thyme seems to have recovered. It was looking a little sad for a while there, but looks like it's going to be okay. These yellow flowers amongst the daisies are volunteers this year. I think those are cosmos, I think. I had flowers here, like a pollinator garden here last year. And these ones just came up on their own. And the bees are just loving them. I can't wait till our pollinator garden starts blooming. But these are nice early volunteers. Look how pretty. Oh, I just love seeing bees on flowers. They're so happy. Look at that. So cute. Hey, happy bee. We've gotten a lot of rain and our beans have just taken off. Look at this. We're gonna get a lot of beans this year. So these are mostly dry beans, so I let them ripen fully and then dry out, and then we have lots of beans for the winter, for chili and things like that. I love growing dry beans. They're so beautiful, and they're all different types. And then the last two rows there are bush beans, so they're the yellow bush beans, so we just pick them throughout the summer, and I just love those as well. They're just really nice to just put in a lot of different meals. Our daisy party is still partying here, which is just a big field of happiness. And oh, I just spotted something. I'll show you. The black-eyed Susies are starting to bloom. I planted these last year hoping to have a perennial garden every year, and look at that, they're starting. They're back, which is really, really, I just love these flowers. They're so beautiful. Amongst the daisies, of course. One more glance at our pea flowers that are coming up abundantly. So we're gonna get lots and lots of snow peas. They're so delicate, these flowers. So I'm gonna trim some of these tomatoes, actually all of them, because look, they're starting to flop over and go crazy. So let's get some order in here. And I'm also gonna pick off the little sprouts in the I call it like the armpits of the tomato plant. And the reason I do that is to discourage more leaf growth and encourage the plant to bring its energy into the fruit, and it'll grow more tomatoes. So let's give this plant a little love, and hopefully get some abundance of tomatoes from this one. There we are. Let's tie you up here. I don't know if this is love. Would they consider this love? Maybe. I'm also taking off the bottom branches that are a little bit starting to dry out. Get rid of those. I just throw everything into the pathways and that'll just decompose on its own. The reason I do that is it also retains water. We sometimes we go through droughts, not this year, but it will retain water when it rains. So, and it just brings nutrients back into the soil. So I just keep them. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. I also try not to let the leaves overlap too much because you want good airflow. And I use this Velcro stuff that I've been using for many years. It's gentler on the plant rather than twine. We just have a very windy spot here, so as the plants get kind of whipped around in the wind, you want something a little gentle holding them in place. There we go. See how you do. Look how blue those blueberries are. They're starting to turn. They're almost ready. Gotta be gentle with these. Sometimes they'll break. Kind of let this one go a little too long in this stress position. Kind of try to weed as I go. Eliminate any branches that are touching the ground. There we go. A little better. Yeah, that one's got some nice blossoms on it, so that should just do just fine. So I'll kind of show you what I mean, how crazy these plants can get. This one has now split into two main stalks, and often when it does that, I'll just keep those. So I'll just trim any branches that are kind of hanging over each other. But what I do is I eliminate these little sprouts that come up in the little elbows, like in the divots. So you want to do that to encourage the plant to give its energy to the fruit and not to more leaf growth. So I'll pick those off. And sometimes they're really tiny. Sometimes they get huge, so you have to kind of, even the little guys like this, I'll take those off. Sorry, that's my husband doing construction in the background, so don't mind the noise. And then I'll also take off these kind of like bad, dried up looking branches. I have kind of long nails, so I'm able to to kind of take them off with my nails here. I don't worry too much about cross-contamination. I haven't really had any issues yet, but I know that you can get really kind of more particular about like making sure all your tools are cleaned and washing your hands between plants. And I don't know, I'm just a little bit more of a leap of faith gardener. And we've always gotten a really good crop of tomatoes, so I don't really worry about it too much. I guess until something happens, kind of like the wildlife fence. We don't have one of those either. We just take our chances and hope for the best. I'm just doing a little weeding as well. So yeah, so now I'm going to tie this plant up with my handy Velcro tomato tape. And you can reuse this and reuse this. I've been using it for years. There's another one up in there. That, see right there, this little guy, take that off. And I'll tie this up and then I'm just going to carry on. I think we have about 30 plants. I can't really remember. So I'll just keep going and make sure these are all tied up. Look at that. We've got lovely tomatoes already showing up, which is exciting. So now when I do this, it's just going to encourage more fruit. So yeah, it looks like we're going to get a nice crop this year. Sometimes these can get complicated. This one will be a challenge. It's kind of going a little crazy, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Oh, so tall already. It's rain. It's really made these tomatoes just take off. Last year I was doing this in high winds, which was very interesting. We just had such a windy year last year that it was the only window I had, so I just went for it. But man, it was chaos. You know what? I'm just going to take this whole section off. Sometimes you have to be brutal when pruning. Weeds. I keep most weeds in the garden. Weeds are actually quite beneficial. A lot of them will pull up a lot of the nutrients from deep down if they have deep roots. They also retain water, and then when I pick them, I just leave them in the paths. So they just bring biomass back into the garden. So we don't actually take a lot of things out of our garden except the harvest. But all the leftover stuff stays in the garden. And it builds soil over time. I know there's risks of, viruses and fungus and things like that, but I haven't had too many issues. It's pretty breezy here. So we have a lot of good airflow anyway. So I'm just gonna keep doing that and see how things go over time. Oh, another crazy one. What is this? Oh, it's already faded. No idea who this is. I can kind of read that. Even just by looking at the plant, sometimes I can tell what it is. This might be aroma. Just like a paste tomato, which are very handy for tomato sauce. Yeah, this is definitely a paste tomato plant. Gosh. You guys are going to be a lot happier after this. Room to grow. All right. Looking good. That one looks really good. All right, the tomato plants are all pruned now and fastened to the stakes properly. We got some blossoms happening. Yeah, they look pretty good. A lot of the low branches have been removed, but some of them are already a good 3 feet tall. So they'll grow all the way up, these stakes, some of them. Yeah, lots of tomatoes happening. Now they've got exposure to the sun, so they'll ripen faster. I just want to take a video of the sky. It's so lovely today. The puffy clouds. Look at that. Isn't that just amazing? So pretty. We're heading into the woods to collect our wildlife camera, see who's been crittering around here. And we have a lot of deer flies joining us. Come on, Myles. Just a carpet of moss here. Look at that. Last year we picked just thousands of blackberries here. Oh yeah, they're back this year again. Yeah. Do you see berries?
Well, yeah, and raspberries.
Oh, nice. All of that is wild blackberries. It's crazy how abundant this is. I'm sure the bears will be coming through here for sure. We always talk when we come through here because we do have quite large wildlife on this property, so we just make sure that they know that we're coming. They're more afraid of us than we are of them, but we don't want to like catch anyone off guard, just like, you know, we don't want to be caught off guard. Today we are going to check this wildlife camera that we put deep in the woods.
Look at this. I've never seen this before.
What is that?
That's our camera. It's been
Oh my god.
like torn off.
You're kidding. Look at that.
Like, okay. All right.
Okay, we have an aggressor, I see.
Well, look.
Something
Hello.
tore the camera right off the tree.
So how did they manage that?
Could that have been a bear maybe? Like, I've
Maybe
heard.
We'll find out.
Yeah, well. Oh dear.
I mean, unless it just fell off.
I doubt it. Is it Oh, it's broken.
That's what I mean. The clips are ripped
Yeah,
off.
the snap is broken. Oh my god, look at that. Okay, well.
Hope it didn't run out of batteries.
Yeah, it seems like it's okay. Well, these things are pretty rugged, so interesting. I mean, I guess it could have been an animal kind of like rubbing against a tree, but
Yeah,
it looks
running
like
into it, maybe.
it looks like it looks like it.
Like this
Took it
branch is
off,
broken,
though. Yeah.
So they may have clipped it on the way by. Okay.
Well, let's see who is here. You just never know what you're gonna find. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Let's get back and there. Yeah, we kind of figured they'd be dead because.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hopefully it caught whatever happened, or else we missed it all and we'll never know. Alright. Let's see who's been crittering. Raspberries are starting to ripen. They're starting to ripen, but the birds are getting to them before we do, so that's kind of how it goes, right?
See?
Oh, look at
Yeah,
that. Beautiful. Let's grab the other camera. So we weren't able to solve the mystery of the camera that was knocked to the ground because the card was empty, which is very strange. So we're not sure if the battery just died or what happened, but so that's that. We'll never know. We will never know the mystery of the fallen camera. It's the way it goes, I guess. This one is still on the tree, so that's good.
Good.
All right. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.